Welcome back, designers, to Kat Silvia Designs. I'm Kat, and today's video is a little different. This is my first ever winter design challenge. Someone gave me a package of snowflake charms, and I have been charged with creating a wintry design. So in this video, you will see my design process from start to finish. And hopefully it will yield an acceptable design in the end. If you're not already, please take this moment to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you can see my brand new videos every single Wednesday. As always, I will link the items I end up using in that final design in the description box below. Please consider using those links to help support this channel. Are you ready to join my design challenge? Let's go. All right, I have a lot going on here. So let me just first start by the first thing that I always think about when I'm getting ready to design. Now I'm standing at my studio, so I, have all my tools at the ready, but I wanted to pull some stuff out so that you know what I kind of think I might be wanting to work with. So I have my chain nose pliers, my bent chain nose pliers, my round nose pliers, and my flush cutter. So kind of my four basic go-tos. Now I don't have my crimping pliers or anything because I pulled out some chain and I think I want to stick to chain. I don't think I'm going to do anything strung here with these pieces. So that is why these four tools. Okay, now that you've seen them, I'm going to kind of move them out of the way here so we can talk about some of the other stuff without distraction. I pulled out two different sizes of jump rings. I have some 520s and some 422s. I'm not quite sure which is going to look best and which is going to work with this. I also have two different gemstones here. I have some white howlite and then I have some lapis. And these are little rondelles, so they're kind of faceted. I thought they might look good, but I don't know. We'll see. I also have two different sizes here of head pins. So I have some silver head pins that are 1-inch 22 gauges and 1.5-inch 22 gauges. I'm not sure if I'm going to use both, one or the other. Typically, if I'm going to do a wrapped wire loop, I'll go with something that's a little bit longer. Sometimes I'll even go with a 2-inch that, just kind of gives you a little extra grip. But I have the 1-inch there in case I just want to keep it simple and do simple wire loops. So I have some antiqued silver chain here. And if you look, it's really difficult to match antiqued silver to antiqued silver jump rings. Oftentimes you don't have that, which is why I brought out just the silver plate. But you can automatically see that this is a little bit darker. But I brought out the antiqued chain because if you look at my charms here, which I'm going to take out of the bag, I promise, it matches this a little bit more. So because this is going to be the focal pieces, I wanted to keep those as dark as possible. Same thing with that lobster clasp. Now here's a little tip. If you don't have an antique silver lobster clasp, try going for something like this that is a stainless steel. So this is going to be a little bit darker. So it's something to kind of consider. All right, now over here, I've brought out a selection of my Preciosa crystals. I have 3 different blues. Even looking at them now, I'm not sure if they're all going to work. Maybe one of them will work. Maybe none of them will work. But I also have these 5 here. And this one, these 5 are Bicones. And if you look really closely, these 3 here, those are AB, Aurora Borealis, and it just means that it's going to have that little kind of rainbow sparkle to it, almost like that oil slick, right? So over here, I have a couple of different rounds. I have some crystal rounds, and then I have these half coat silver rounds. So I'm going to see if maybe those are going to work here as well. Now, I do have some other things a little bit more off camera. I don't know if I'm going to reach for them or not, but if I do, obviously you'll see them. So let's talk about this package here, because this is what I was gifted. Now you can get all of these charms on Amazon. So in this package, I believe there are 8 different styles of snowflake charms. So let's just dump it out and see what we get here. Wow, you really do get a lot. I'm looking at these and I think you can make some really pretty gift charms to go onto like little gifts or anything like that. I think that could be really fun. Anyway, just a little extra something. So now let's take a look at what we got here. Okay, so this is interesting. So if you look at these 2 here, you'll notice that this one has a loop that goes this way, but this one has a loop that goes the opposite way. So we have some differentiating kind of pieces here. And these ones are interesting here. They have a longer little loop there. Okay, so let me see if I can pull out all 8 different styles here. I'm also wondering if you could paint these with like a patina. Oh, that's interesting. So this side doesn't have a lot of the etching on it, and this side does. So it kind of is up to you which you want to be the front or the back, which is making me think that in my design here, maybe I will use more than one. Oh, that's kind of cool. So I thought I was only going to use one, but you'll also notice that if you look especially at this one here, that little center divot, you could probably put a little crystal in there. So that could be kind of interesting. Okay, so maybe there are 9, 10? 10. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 10 different styles. Okay, very cool. I thought there were only 8, so that's actually really neat. Oh wait, this one's different too. Oh my god, you've got to be kidding. Okay, that one's different. Okay, this is playing a trick on me, right? Okay, well it seems like we have, oh, obviously that one was different. Okay, let's see here. I'm just gonna pull some more out of the box here and make sure. Okay, I think those are all the different ones there. Lots of different options here. So let me kind of scooch some of these aside. I have 24 inches of chain, and I think I want to go ahead and just stick to an 18-inch necklace, but before I do any cutting, I'm going to take a look at what I'm really working with here. So let's just separate these aside. Let's just say this is my center point. Now, in an 18-inch necklace, I'm going to bring in my ruler. I'm going to measure out 6 inches, because that's going to be just my focal, right? So let's just do 6 inches there. And I'm going to do a hard little curve so I know what I'm working with. Okay. I think I want to put, obviously, the biggest one in the center there. And maybe what I'll try to do is graduate those sizes out and try to sort of match them as they go outwards. Now this one's a little interesting. This one could be fun for maybe a pair of earrings. I don't know though if I want to make it more symmetrical if he's going to have a home here though. That's the question. Like, because I don't know what else is going to hang as low as that. Although maybe, okay, so here's an option. So I'm digging over here. What if, go that way. What if these guys snuck in here? Now I could really crowd everything. Okay, let's see. Just kind of playing around. Maybe put that one there. Okay. So I have 1, 2. So I have more on this side. Let's see, maybe put that one on the end. So now if I start to kind of look at it curved, is that a lot? Is that too much? I don't know. Okay, so let's say I like that. I'm not sure yet. Still on the fence. I don't like these. I don't think they're gonna fit. I think I'm just gonna get rid of them. Because I think what I want to do is if I have a nice curve here, I think it'll be nicer to have a little bit more space in the snowflakes, and then I can add in the crystals. Now I'm already looking at this. This is already looking kind of heavy, so I think if I were to add in gemstones, I think it might just be too much. I don't even know if I'd add them in that color order. But if I added in, so okay, so here's my thought. I thought I was gonna like the crystals here, the silver ones, but when you look at them, they just kind of add more gray. I don't know if I like that. It doesn't add the sparkle I was hoping for. So I think they're not gonna make the cut. Okay, let's see here. Maybe we should go to the ABs. All right, let's get these out here. I don't like these. Yeah, it's just, you know what? I think it's just gonna make it too heavy. It's just not my favorite thing here. Okay, now let's see. What if I took... So here's what I want to point out. So looking at these 3 blue crystals up there, let's take a look at that really fast. Tonally, they are not the same. You could use them in the same design. I'm never saying you can't do anything. But if you look, these two now make more sense with maybe like a crystal than possibly these ones. But if you look at these two, you know, you kind of see that this one's a little bit more purple, that one's a little bit more blue. Now, again, I'm never saying it can't work, but I'm just saying for my purposes here, I think my best bet is to stick with the ones that are a little bit more AB, because I just think that these crystals here, the super clear ones, are just not going to add anything. They're just going to add weight. So instead of adding weight, I want to add, like, I'm going to add weight and color. So I want to make sure that something comes through and pops. So we can add in these little AB ones here. Now let's say I add in one in between each, right? Let's do one, and we'll do one on the ends, because why not? Okay. So that leaves me one on each end. Now, do I want to add in the dark blue crystals? Is that going to make me happy? Let's see. Or do we keep it light and snowy and add in the lighter ones? Okay, so we have this one, that's the lighter blue. I have this one over here that's the darker blue. Tough call. I don't know if I want to add both though. I think it might be getting to be overkill if I add both. Okay, let's see. Let's just take a look. So we'll add like a cluster of 3 in between each. How do we like that? That's not bad. Definitely much more blue. This one's a little more icy, so it's just like kind of a different feel. This one's a little bit more blue. Okay, so here's what I would do next. And I'm going to do it, so you're going to get a chance to see it. Okay, so I'm going to take my chain out, and I'm going to measure off my 18 inches. I'm not necessarily going to measure an additional piece for the clasp. If it ends up being, you know, 18 and a little bit, that's fine. Like, what is it? 18 and a half? That's fine. I'll deal with that. I'll survive that. Okay, so I'm going to cut off an even 18 inches so that I can keep that even 6 inches in the center. So when I'm working with my chain, I know exactly how that's all going to come together. Okay, so I have 12 and to 6. All right, and I'm going to come in, and these are closed rings, so I'm just going to cut all the way across that and just remove that extra 6 inches. So we'll get that out of the way. Okay, so now I have my 18 inches. So at this point, what I want to do is take a look at my necklace, and I am just going to find that center point. I'll just bring this into the frame there. You can take a little head pin if you want. Mark off your 2 last links there. There we go. So now they're attached. And now I can find my center point down here to see if I have one link or if I need to adjust my size here. Okie dokie. And I do. So you can see how you can find that center link there. Perfect. I think I'm going to need to use the bigger jump rings for this one. Okay, so let's open up a 5mm here. Now don't forget, because I was talking about the weight of the necklace, you are also going to be adding a lot of these jump rings, so you need to make sure that you are mindful of how heavy not only the actual piece is, but how it's looking. All right, so we're gonna add that jump ring right to the center there. Perfect. Okay, I can remove my little thingies. So there we go. So now I have my piece centered. So now we can work outwards. And anytime I'm doing a piece like this, oh, you know what? I just thought of something. These are oval links. So you see how it's coming down there in a little bit more of a, like a V? You can see how it's kind of taking on that shape there. That's okay for that one there. But now I need to be mindful that when I have the other pieces, we're going to be working every other link here. Okay, that's good to know. Good to know, good to know. So I think I am going to do simple wire loops. I think if I do wrapped wire loops, it's just going to be too much metal. So let's make it easy and let's just do a bunch of simple wire loops. So I'm going to show you one and then I will stop the camera so that you don't have to watch me make all of these simple wire loops, and then I'll come back and I'll talk you through what I want to do next there. Okay, so we are going to use one of our little AB crystals, slide it down to our head pin there. Use our round nose pliers to come in just above it, bend it backwards. Now I want a fairly sizable loop, so I'm going to scooch mine up just a little bit, and I'm going to loop it around, bring it across, and snip that with my flush cutters. Okay, so I have one little piece now. And set that aside. And I'm going to repeat for a bunch of them. I don't know if I'm going to do all of them. I just got to kind of see how many I want to use. All right, so I'm going to repeat that off camera, and then I'm going to come back and we're going to work on attaching everything together. So I have 10 each of the little baubles that I created just using simple wire loops. And I have my snowflakes laid out here. I still have that in the center point. Now, here's the first thing that I need to decide is how far spaced I want each of these things to be. And as I was thinking about it, do I want to create clusters with all three and hang them right above so they kind of are all centered, or do I want to put them in between each of the snowflakes? It's just going to be visually, do I want it to look fuller or a little bit more kind of condensed and like little pocketed? I don't know. Okay, we're gonna find out. Okay, so let's pull this down here. And I want you to look. I'm just gonna pull this chain out to this side here. So let's focus right down here at the bottom. So when I'm looking at this, I have to look at every other loop. It will help me set things apart just a little bit more. When you're doing this, if you have a Rolo chain or a chain like this that is sort of 90 degrees flipped back and forth like that, you want to make sure that you are hanging everything from the same side. So you wouldn't want to hang something from, let's say, the top of that particular piece right there. So you have to be a little bit mindful of that. Anyway, okay, so let's say I wanted to do every other link. That's going to get everything really close together. So I'm already getting a little overlap there. Okay, let's think about this. If I do every third one, it gives me a little more space. I like that. So 1, 2, 3, right? And then 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so I could space them out like that. Okay. I wonder if I can get away with using the smaller jump rings, or if that's just going to look too much. Gosh, I don't know. Okay, let me test something here. So I'm going to take one of my smaller jump rings and open this up. Let's see. So I'm just going to slip it onto the charm there, and I'm going to slip it on to, what did we say, the third one right there. Okay. And I'm just closing it up. I'm trying to keep it down on the table here so I can kind of keep visually a little eye on my design. Okay, so I could do that. That's enough. Just depends on how clustered I want it to look. Just thinking out loud here for you. I know this is a long video, but what's really interesting is that, you know, you think that designers just sit there and it just comes to them and it looks right with their first instinct, and I don't know, maybe I should go back. Hold on. Okay. I think I'm going to I think they should be more clustered. I think it would visually make it look really nice, and it would look more like a focal as opposed to like a long bib necklace. Okay, all right, that's what I'm going to do. So first things first, I'm going to take this off. Now, really quick, be mindful of how often you are opening and closing your jump rings. So I'm just taking it off there and I'm going to just put it onto this next one here. Hang on, let me figure out where that is before I need to do this. So I gotta put it down, figure it out. Here's my center. So I'm gonna start by counting from 1 and then this one right here, that'll be 2. Okay, so let's hook that on there. I think I'm gonna like it better there. I'm just kind of visually looking at it from the front. I think I like that. I think I like the little overlap. I think that's gonna work. So now here's what I was thinking in terms of going in between, and this actually makes it a little more even, which I like, is going to that first one right there. So let's try one of our smaller jump rings again. Oops. I might have to switch out the center jump ring. Although if it works, I can always use 2 sizes. There's nothing saying that you can't. Okay, now here comes the question. Do I want to use all 3 of these colors? So do I just want to do 2? Do I want to do 3? You know, I don't think I'm going to use these dark ones. I don't know. It's a really tough call for me. Maybe I should have done this live so you guys could give me some input. Let me know if you would want to see something like this live. Just kind of sit with me while I design a piece. Okay, so that's visually interesting. That fills up that space kind of in an interesting way. What do you think? It's too early to tell, but let's keep going. Let's keep going here and let's see what I can do. So now that I have that pace, I need to grab another one. Now here's the thing. I do think that I'm gonna like this, but it's just a matter of what that kind of end result is gonna look like, especially when it's hanging. I think it's always really difficult to tell how things are going to be when you finally put them on and hang them. Okay, so visually, there we go, I like that. Let's just continue on in this same manner. So I'm gonna do this whole side, and then I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like. Visually, this is what we have. So remember how I said it was gonna look a little heavy? I'm actually okay with that. I think when you really look at it, it looks kind of neat, you know? It has a little bit of sparkle to it. And, you know, I'm hoping after, you know, I do this, I'm hoping to get a shot that will show you a little bit more of how it lays. But I think it's a really interesting design aesthetic, just to really be able to see those little sparkles kind of move around. And when you do separate it out, it has a nice graduated effect. Now, I do want to take a second to honor my first idea of adding in the blue here. So just to kind of visually see how that looks. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad. I just don't think it's what I wanted, you know? I think I've gotten to the point with adding in those dark blue ones that it is gilding the lily. It's too much. So, you know, remember when I talked in my previous video about editing your design? This is that perfect example of, I really wanted it to work. I just think now that I look at it visually, it draws the eye in just a negative way for me. Now, you could enjoy it, you could like it, you could say, hey, I would have done it, you know, cool. All right, let me finish up this side. Excuse me. Let me finish up this side, and then I'm going to show you what that final piece looks like, and we're going to attach our clasp, and I think we're going to be done almost. So stay tuned for the final look. So this is our near final look. You can see that everything is really nice and full. I know it's on a gray background there, but you're gonna see it on me in just a moment. But let's go ahead and finish off our clasp. Now with this particular one, I do want a right and a left side, so we are going to pretend like I have swooped this around. So this one would be in my left hand, and this one would be in my right hand. So to the right hand, we are going to attach the clasp here. Now, I'm going to use one of the larger jump rings, I think. I think that will just, because this is a little heavier, I'd rather use a larger jump ring here to make sure that we're not going to go anywhere. It's a little bit of a thicker gauge as well, so a 20 gauge versus a 22, so it's going to be a little stronger and kind of keep that nice and taut back there. Okay, and then again, I'm going to use the same size on the opposite side here. That way it'll be nice and easy to clasp. Just close that jump ring up. There we go. And here is the final look. I love that it kind of tinkles a little bit. It's a little bit like a beautiful little bell, and I think that's just a beautiful holiday season type thing. Now I know this is really difficult to see here on my hands, but I'm going to show it to you right now and let me know what you think. Thank you so much for watching, designers. Let me know in the comments what you think of the final design, and also let me know what you might have done differently. I encourage you to purchase your own set of these snowflake charms, create a design, and then post it on Instagram, making sure to tag me at Silvia Designs. I would love to see what you can come up with. If you did like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And don't forget, the links to the items that you've seen here are down in that description box. You can get many of them over at Eureka Crystal Beads, and don't forget to use my special coupon code down in that description box to save 15%. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.